Hey guys. Well, the title of this video might be having you wondering a little bit. Uh, Bad news in a sense, not, terrible news like life-threatening or anything like that. Um, but the Bud Nose and Mustang project will not be finished. Not going to get into too much detail about it because I'm pretty upset. But the main issue for the reason that the plane will not be finished is because of the resin on the bottom of the wing. And just a brief little story on why I decided not to finish it. So as you all know by now from the previous videos, I tried I wouldn't say off-brand resin because it's a good brand. I did some research on them. Unfortunately, a little too late. And it is a popular brand for a homeowner type person like me if I wanted to resurface a table or something like that. It's a pretty popular resin. But after doing some further digging, other people have had the same problem that I have, where even if you mix it a perfect 50-50, it doesn't dry. I guess a few other people have had that same issue. So I wish I would have known that before I tried it. But, as you remember, I thought I had the problem solved. Even though parts of the bottom of the wing didn't dry completely, I was able to recoat those areas with Z-Epoxy, which, built up more epoxy and kind of gave the whole bottom of the wing kind of a wavy look. But at this point I didn't care, as long as it was dry. And I thought I was out of the woods. Afraid not. So it's been a while, so I'm trying to remember exactly how this happened. I took the wing to work, primed it, brought it home. It was either the next day or a couple days later. I sanded the top of the wing first, just wet sanding with 220. And the top of the wing, all the resin was Z-Epoxy. So the wet sanding, it was beautiful, as I would hope. And this is where it all went to hell. I flipped the wing over to the bottom, which had the glaze coat resin and the Z-Epoxy in certain spots where it didn't dry right. And I started wet sanding. And it's kind of hard to explain. You ever had like the skin on the top of rice pudding, how it kind of peels off there? That's what the primer was doing over the resin. It started peeling off, kind of, as I was sanding it, it was kind of bunching up and just kind of oozing off the airplane. And I'm going, what the hell now? And as I started going more, the resin had actually reactivated and was sticky and gooey again. At this point I just said, I give up. I've totally lost interest in this project. It's time to move on. So it's a bummer. It was a cool airplane. I have a set of plans. I can build another one. It doesn't matter. But at this point it would have been so much work to redo that wing, and it just wasn't worth it, at least not to me. So moving on. Shortly after, I went back to the old storage unit and got this diamond in the rough. This is an old Top Flight Giant Corsair that has been crashed. The wing was completely destroyed, fuselage was damaged, mainly cosmetic stuff. The reason this looks really bad right now is actually because I got it smooth. I originally thought that this was glassed, but it turns out the wood was just sealed with primer and it was painted. So I'm just trying to get it as smooth as I can before I cover it. And yes, you heard me, I'm going to cover it. I don't have the interest in glassing right now because of the incident with the P-51. I'm really good at monocoat, so I'm just going to go that route. I'm not intending to win any beauty pageants with this airplane, and I know how to make monocoat look good anyway. So a couple spots I tried. It's got a bunch of dust all over it, but I covered the jam around the stab just to see how the Monocoat was going to react to going over top of a painted surface. And as long as you're careful, it turns out pretty well. Now for the wing. When I got this fuselage, there was no wing. There was nothing left. But I had a broken wing from an ARF, which is for the most part down there. So the intent was to take that ARF wing and put it on that fuselage. That's still the intent. But this wing down there was damaged more than I really wanted to mess with as far as making it structurally sound. So when I went online, and $450 frickin' dollars later, I bought a wing for the ARF. Brand new wing, that is. Get off there, dust, you're ruining my shot. So I started to redo it because the color scheme I'm going for is going to be an all gray fuselage. As you can see, the gray center section, blue outboards, and white flaps. So when I got the wing, I had to cut off all the perfect hinges and peel off the beautiful blue covering on this very difficult to cover contour here. But the center sections, this are the outboards, this is the stock covering, the flat insignia blue. So I didn't have to do anything there, thank God. So I've been pretty busy here. Now when I say I'm pretty good at Monocoat, I'm pretty good at Monocoat. Now when you look at this, it needs to go out in the sun for a while because you can still see some dings and dents from my iron. But as soon as this goes out in the sun, the covering will raise over those spots. But if you've ever tried to cover a shape like that not only is shaped like this, but also like this, Monocoat does not want to do that. At least today's current Monocoat does not want to do that. So I had to reteach myself how to cover contours like this, and I'm going to go ahead and say I'm pretty happy with it. No glassing, no sanding, no priming, no painting. It's done. I just totally ran into something. What was that? Oh, sorry. And flaps and everything are all hooked up. Everything works good. Couldn't be happier. Now, I built one of these Corsairs, 13 years ago. Here's a couple pictures of my ugly mug. Let's see, how old was I back then? Pretty fresh out of high school, actually, when I built this. Turned out pretty good. It was powered with a US 41. That didn't fly it very well, so I ended up taking that out and put in a Sachs 3.7. And that gave it some power. Eventually I ended up trading it for another airplane. Not sure why, because it was a beautiful airplane. So this is the path I decided to take for now. And because I'm doing it all in Monocoat, it hopefully will be flying this season. Just this morning I painted the new belly pan, but that white does not look like that white. That's like a nasty cream color, so as soon as that dries, I'm going to wet sand it and find a different white paint that's a little bit, I don't know, whiter. But now I've reached a very difficult stage, which is this wing does not exactly fit on that wing saddle. So I'm going to have to get pretty creative. I'm going to start by mounting the wing to the fuselage. And it does fit. It fits in a way. It will fit in here. I think I have to maybe put a spacer right here, maybe an 1/8 inch. But it doesn't contour the wing saddle perfectly. So when it's level here and level here, there's going to be a pretty good gap up here. So what I'm going to do is mount the wing so everything is level, the incidence is right. I don't care how it fits to here yet. Then once it's mounted, I'll coat the center section of the wing with wax paper and some Vaseline. And I'll mix up a bunch of resin with microbloons, and a lot of microbloons, so it's basically the consistency of rubber cement. And I'll just totally fill this in with the resin and microbloons. Bolt the wing on so it's all oozing out, and then just smooth it out with my fingers and make a custom wing saddle that once it dries will be hard as a rock. So as soon as that's done, I can start covering on the fuselage. So you can see it took quite a bit of work to get it smooth. Still haven't fixed some of the bad spots, but yeah. If you can cover that, you can cover anything. So that's where we're at. You know, like I said, I can make Monocoat look good. I know some people are going to be shaming me for covering with Monocoat, but you know what? I don't care. You go to Top Gun anymore, you go to Scale Masters, there's more airplanes that are ARFs and, you know, planes that are covered instead of glass. You know, this is going to be a scale color scheme, so I could take this to Scale Masters, I could fly it at Pro-Am and Top Gun, and it would be a competitive airplane. But I'm not going to. It's just going to fly for fun. So as I get some more work done on this, I'll bring you back. Later.